What are you doing? I'm going to be doing the Q&A video from my bed right now because I don't feel like not doing it at my bed. So, first question is from Editor Cookie E. That's the name we got. Are you planning on making a Slenderman backstory creepypasta short story movie? Probably not. Slenderman really... I mean, one, I feel like I did enough with the character with the Tiki Toby movie. So, unless there's an aggressive amount of recommendations, I probably wouldn't do any more Slenderman stuff. And then has for a backstory, I probably wouldn't do that at all because I just don't think that's necessary. Like, certain things are creepier when they are mysterious and vague and you don't know everything. So, we really don't need a backstory for Slenderman, in my opinion. The next question, which creepypasta characters do you like the most? I'm going to probably say Mr. Widemouth is one of my favorites. I've always just kind of thought he was interesting. I like the story, which is why I made a point, even though I knew it wouldn't get a ton of views, I made a point to do a little adaptation of that one last year. So definitely him. The Seed Eater is another, like, creepy, interesting one. So maybe I'd go with those two. Yeah. And then the third question from them is, were you proud of the amount of views on your creepypasta videos and movies? I'd say so. I mean, they are the most viewed things on the channel. And, even though they're not, like, what I would consider viral or super successful, there's still a good amount of views on those, and there was a time I never expected to get that much attention on this kind of stuff, so yeah, that's pretty cool. Next question is from Bruce Carnage 920. Sorry that my eyes are fucking shit, I guess. Hold on. Okay, that's not a question, actually, so we're just going to skip that one. Next one is from Kame the Turtle. How's it going, Kame? Do you like watching horror gameplay channels? If so, who are some of your favorites? Well, I don't, really. I'm not super into a lot of horror games. Like, I like the Resident Evil games, but those I like more for the action-oriented aspect, so yeah, I'm not like into a lot of horror games. They just don't do much for me. And as a result, I don't really watch any Let's Plays. And then from Tiki Toby 69, also known as Diabetic Bunny. I remember that. So YouTube doesn't include your, like, customizable names anymore, but I remember some of you. So for the group horror film thingy, which I still don't remember the name of, the horror anthology project is what we'll call that. I have a few questions. When is it due by? I believe I said October 1st. And I did do an update video where I answer some of these questions, so. But I believe it was October 1st. This is a very nonchalant, collaborative project. If anybody hasn't heard of this yet, just for fun, we're doing a thing. If you want to make a short film and then send it to me, there's a few restrictions about what it can be about. Mainly just don't make it about just an original horror or monster movie kind of thing. But then I think it was before October. We'll just say before October, just to be safe for right now. But I did do a video explaining this better. Does there have to be a creature thing in it, or can it just be creepy shit happening? Yeah, it can just be, as long as it's horror or monster related. we'll be as vague as to say that. Horror or monster related. Other than that, I don't want to put too many restrictions. What do you suggest we end it with? Like, does one of us get killed, or we leave it on a cliffhanger, or do something specific to make it easier to put them together? Nope, it's just going to be, each one's a self-contained story, so like an anthology. An anthology, if we don't know, is defined by a collection of short stories. So, just your own self-contained story, and then we're going to put them together as an anthology film, and I'll be hosting them sort of in between. So if anybody else is still unaware that we're doing this and you want to participate, free of charge. We're just doing it for fun. As long as your movie is between 5 and 30 minutes. Those are no shorter than 5, no longer than 30 minutes. Okay. And then random questions. Will you ever react to Marble Hornets? I doubt it. Mainly because I'm not a super huge fan of Marble Hornets. Like, it's okay, but I feel like it's definitely one of those things you probably had to be there when it was happening, and I kind of found out about Marble Hornets like after the fact, and going back and watching like 9+ hours of found footage style content is very cumbersome and tedious. It's really not that appealing to me. I hate to say that because I know a lot of people are very into it, but it's not my favorite. So I probably won't do that. And it probably wouldn't get like great views or anything. I just don't see it being worth my time. What editing thingy do you use? Because the one I use is shit. I'm currently using DaVinci Resolve, which is a free editing software. I don't particularly like it. It's a bit of a pain in the butt to figure out, but if you're on a budget, it's free, and if you're patient, you can figure it out. I do intend to eventually. Before DaVinci Resolve, I was using Adobe Premiere Elements, which is slightly different from Adobe Premiere Pro. I think is the more professional one or whatever. Elements is a little bit more easy to use, I guess. It works for what I needed it for. I'm probably going to get an updated version of that eventually. DaVinci Resolve was free, so I've been using that in the meantime, but eventually I'm going to get the latest version of Adobe Premiere Elements. Yeah, it costs money, so I think it's like the editing software and the Photoshop packaged together. I think it's like $150 right there. So, yeah, we'll see. Eventually, I tend to get that again. So there you go. Can you do a video on how you do special effects in your videos, like the blood splurting, and stuff like that? Okay, yeah, I might eventually do videos talking about special effects stuff. In fact, I have to make fake blood for the next Creepypasta short film. Right on Time is the title of the next Creepypasta short. I need a lot of fake blood for that. I got the supplies to make the fake blood, and I've been contemplating making a video just demonstrating how you make fake blood, because it's a really simple and easy thing to do, and it might be fun. It's just like I might show also some additional, like how to do squirting and stuff like that. Nothing super in depth, but I might do that coming up. Then next from Jack DeBreeze, aka Shattered Lens Cinema. Have you ever thought of going out in public and dragging strangers into your movies like David "The Rock" Nelson does? Probably not, because I don't think people would appreciate that. I feel like most people would find that to be annoying and bothersome. And I feel like it could lead to legal ramifications. So probably wouldn't do that. David the Rock Nelson is a bit unhinged, I think. So he definitely does some things that I would not do. The next question from the voice of Jack Muth. What's your personal favorite Godzilla or first Godzilla movie? Okay, so I'm going to say, if I'm going to pick a favorite, on most days, I would probably say Godzilla versus King Ghidorah is probably my favorite one. I don't know, I just feel like I rewatch that one the most. Like, if I'm just in the mood to watch a Godzilla movie and I grab one to put on, I usually will start with that one. So I really like Godzilla versus King Ghidorah. But the first one that I ever saw that introduced me to Godzilla would be Godzilla versus the Smog Monster, or Godzilla versus Hedorah, depending on the title you're looking at. That is the first one I ever saw on the Sci-Fi Channel. It came on the Sci-Fi Channel. So I was a very little kid. This was like, I think this is probably 97 or 98 maybe. It was like very shortly before the Roland Emmerich movie came out, and I think TV networks were showing a lot of Godzilla stuff just to, hype that up a little bit. But that came on TV, and I was just like, what the hell is this? Well, I didn't say that. I was a small child. But I was just immediately enthralled by that. So, yeah. And Hedorah, I believe, has remained one of my favorite of the Godzilla monsters, definitely. Gigan and Hedorah are like my top two, probably. So there you go. Then next from RJ Productions. What are your thoughts on the Twisted Childhood universe? I don't know what that is, so I can't comment on that. I feel like this is a really unflattering angle, but fuck it. I don't care. We're 12 minutes into this now. Whatever. Screw it. Next question. Have you seen any of the Terrifier movies? If so, what are your thoughts on them? Yes, I've seen all of them. I saw the third one in theaters. And we might probably about to get some noise disruption. I might have to move this. Fucking dogs had to bark at some shit. Back to the Terrifier movies. So yeah, I like that. They're not my favorite. I think people tend to overreact when they get like negative about them. Like, these are immoral, misogynistic, terrible. Like, basically, here's what pisses me off. The people that say all this shit about the Terrifier movies are usually like horror fans that love like the Friday the 13th movies and stuff like that. They're literally saying the exact same shit that people in the 80s said about Friday the 13th, but they're just completely ignorant. They grew up with Friday the 13th, so that was cool and fun and awesome. But then they grew up, got old, and then this other thing came out, and yeah, it's more extreme, but it's the same shit. It's just over the top slasher villain killing random people, and any attempt to put like misogyny or immorality over this movie, over other horror movies, is just completely fabricated and fucking stupid. Like I said, they're not even like my favorite movies. Like, I'll watch them. I know, like I saw the third one at theaters. My cousin is really into them, so I'll go with her when they come out with a new one, and it's fun. It's fun. It's definitely a wild ride to watch one of them, And Art the Clown is a very fun slasher villain character. He's just got a lot of personality. If he wasn't so energetic and fun and just, if he did just, have all that going on, then I don't think I would like the movies at all, because, I mean, extreme gore doesn't really do that much for me, just because, like, I'm not 13 anymore. I'm just kind of over gore for the sake of it. If there isn't, like, more substance to a film, then I'm definitely, like, just checking out. So, yeah, it's kind of like, I didn't really like the first movie that much, because it was just, like, a showcase of gory special effects. I'm like, I've seen this shit, I don't care. But then the second and third film proceeded to add some lore, add some depth. I feel like, I'm not really sure, I don't know much about the director. I feel like some unflattering things are starting to pop up about him. I know he had a really shitty take about recent political things, basically trying to take the politically neutral approach of, like, oh, it doesn't matter if you're on the right or the left, let's just all get along, which is just basically code for let's ignore problems that people are dealing with. It's not bothering me, so let's just pretend that they don't exist. That was fucking stupid. So he's also trying to say, like, his films aren't political, but first of all, you're making extremely gory horror movies. That in itself is political, because gory horror movies have consistently been attacked by, very uptight groups protesting this shit. The fact that I was just talking about people who hate these movies because they think they're immoral means that there is something political. Clearly, I have a lot to say. Like, the movies themselves are fine. I think I'll say they're fun if you're in the mood for that really extreme stuff. I feel like I have more to say about just, like, the culture surrounding these movies. If you think that they're non-political, you're stupid. If you think that these are immoral compared to other horror movies, you're stupid. I don't know. There's a lot to say about that. Yeah, but they're fine. They're not, like, the greatest, but they're fine. I'll probably... Like I said, there's been some stupid shit popping up with the director. It hasn't gotten to the point yet where I won't watch the fourth movie. I heard it's supposed to be Easter themed, so we'll see how that goes. I still watch the first two Jeepers Creepers movies on occasion, and that director is way fucking worse. I would go out of my way to not financially support that director. Like, definitely bootleg the shit out of Jeepers Creepers if you can, Just don't pay for that. It's a great movie, but don't support that guy. So I guess I've had the most to say about that question, so I'll say that's a good question. I could probably do a whole video just rambling about the Terrifier movies, because they're interesting. They're both just okay, but also there's so much to say. It's fascinating. When does that ever happen? We'll just move on to your next question in 3. Oh, hold on. And 3. Okay, you should try installing the hype option to your Jeff movie to boost your goal. I'm going to need to look into what that is, because I'm not, like, good at doing anything to fucking promote myself or doing normal YouTuber things. So, yeah, what is the hype? I'm going to have to look up what the hype option is. But that is it for your questions. Next, Bugs on My Nuts asks, do you like Marble Hornets? Well, I guess I answered this already, but I think it's fine. It's not my thing. And then Vicious O2Z asks, do you like Goosebumps? Yes. I'll say I like Goosebumps more than Marble Hornets or Terrifier. I think I was just the right age. I definitely grew up with Goosebumps. I have a lot of nostalgia for that. I've read some of the books. I didn't read all of the books. I mainly watched the show when I was a kid. When I was a little bit older, started reading the books. I read some of those. I'll even, on very rare occasion, as an adult, read one of them because they're like, you can just blow through them so fast. It's like after you've read like fucking Stephen King's It, which is ridiculously long, reading a Goosebump book feels like you're just reading a fucking pamphlet or something. It's just, but yeah, so yeah, I do like Goosebumps. I think it'd be cool to someday make some sort of like children's, just if it's just like a one-off short film, but something that's Goosebumps or Are You Afraid of the Dark inspired. I will say, of those two, because those are the two big ones, I do like Are You Afraid of the Dark more. I liked it more when I was a kid. It was just the scarier of the two. It just, even aesthetically, just felt grittier and darker. And I while I'm just rambling about it, I want to do a video just bitching. Papa Meat, the YouTuber, did a video on Are You Afraid of the Dark, where I don't know who selected the episodes that he watched. He watched some of like the worst episodes, and then his verdict at the end was like, yeah, this definitely isn't as good as Goosebumps. And like, well, you watched all the shit episodes. Like, he watched like one good episode, and guess what? He liked that one. So that just like, that drove me so fucking crazy. Because like, there's so many good episodes with great monsters and stuff, and he just watched all these like terrible episodes. Like, even Goosebumps has great and shit episodes. All anthologies are like that. So, yeah. I think I rambled about that enough. That was the last question, so hopefully I'll be able to get this video up later. Today, I'm putting so much work into this, as you can tell. I am going to later, probably next week, have the video where I'm looking at Eyeless Jack fan films, like I did with Jeff the Killer. I'm doing it with Eyeless Jack now. Editing that. Should be ready next Saturday. So, let's hope that works out. Catch you later. I'm having a hard time framing the camera right. Fuck.